Welcome back to the Construction Contract. I'm Patricia Haywood, your favorite construction lawyer on the internet. Yes, that always makes me laugh. I just love saying it. So today we're going to have a wonderful discussion. We are going to talk about contract strategy alignment, and I have some notes right here just to keep me on track, because I do go off on a tangent sometimes and I just need to bring myself back. So I want to talk about contract strategy alignment, and this is something that I post about quite a bit, and I think it is important that we have a discussion so that we are on the same page. We know what we are talking about, because I get a lot of questions about that. So the construction landscape is changing. In my view, it is changing. Some people say it's staying the same, but it is not. So many things are changing right now, from the use of AI to other technologies, the use of drones for inspecting the site, 3D modeling, those glasses. There is just so much that is going on in the industry right now, and it means that it opens up a lot of opportunities to various companies, including companies who historically wouldn't get a bite at that pie. In my view, things are changing so rapidly that there are companies that wouldn't traditionally get a bite at the pie, but they can get a bite at the pie now because of the way things are growing and moving rapidly for our industry. Because as you know, construction is an industry that is slow to innovate, slow to change, but the industry is being pushed, especially since COVID. The industry is being dragged along with the developments that is required for this century, this time we're living in. And so you find a lot of smaller companies are growing rapidly because they're able to be agile and offer the new technologies and the new way of working and the new innovation that is required to keep pace with the expectation of clients. And so what you need, therefore, as a company CEO of one of these, companies now getting a bite of this pie, if you're a tier 1, tier 2, even a tier 3 company, because I know tier 3 companies who are rapidly growing because of the new technologies that they're using, it is reducing the time and the brawn, the muscles that is traditionally required to do things. Technology is reducing that. So it's really just opening up the playing field to everybody, or to more companies. So if you have the insight, if you have ideas, if you are able to execute them, if you're able to fund them, there is a place for you in the marketplace in construction. But what it also means is that as more opportunities become available to you, you need to become very selective. You can't just take on everything. And that's where contract strategy alignment comes in. So I like to think of strategy as we're all on the playing field together. We're all on the court. And each player or each team decides how it's going to play the game. And when you go to a match, like here I'm in the UK with a football, each team will have their own way of playing the game, their own way of seeing the game, of seeing the opportunities, the risks, how they identify them, how they leverage them. Each team will be doing something completely different. And it's the same thing in business. It should be the same tools, the same expectations, the same type of thinking should be transferred over into your business. If you love football, you know. I don't need to tell you. I'm not really a football fan, but we love football in the UK, right? So you are on the field. You need to determine how you're going to play that game. And in the industry that is so huge, there are a lot of players. There are like thousands of construction companies. You need to determine what is going to set you apart from all those companies, because as I said, the industry is changing, technology is just opening up, the pie is now available to more than it was before, and you have tier 2 companies, for example, that are taking the share of some tier 1 companies. So you need to understand that you're going to need a contract strategy one, and you're going to need to align that strategy to your overall company strategy. So the first thing is, what is your strategy for your company? What's your strategy? What's your strategy for your portfolio of projects? And as you add projects to that portfolio, how do you employ that contract strategy that you have, or that project selection strategy? So I would say that you need to be strategic over being opportunistic. And for a long time in the industry, it was all about the opportunity. The opportunity comes, you take it, you don't question it, you don't fight back, you don't push back, you take the contract. However they present it to you, you take it because you want this work. And that was the way things were done for a while. But what you're going to need to do is to take a decision and depart from that mindset that you're going to take anything that comes your way. You're going to have to make that decision, because you're going to have to become selective and aligning the projects that you bring into your portfolio. You're going to have to align them with your company's, competencies, your values, and your long-term goals. So what does that mean? It means that your company needs to have some values, some long-term goals, some strategies, at the high level that you've decided and that you're bedding down into your organization. And it means that each project that you take on in your company need to align with those high-level goals. Yes, you don't just hear of a tender coming out and just jump on that ship. You get the tender pack, you review it, and you should have a process, even if it's a checklist, to say, okay, in order to bid for a project, at least, let's say, 8 out of 10 on this checklist must be yes. If it's a no, it's not a project we go for. But that's not what we see, is it? What we see in the marketplace is, people just bid for things. Even if they know they can't deliver it, they'll figure it out as they go along. People bid for things, price it incorrectly because they have no clue. And then they get the project, they realize that the project doesn't align with where they're going as a company. The employer, in construction we call our clients the employer, doesn't apply, the employer, the employee organization values don't align with your values, your company values, your CEO values. And so therefore you get a disconnect in the relationship. And then you go on a project and you wonder why are we not seeing head to head? I'm telling this person, for example, CDM regulations, and this is what we got to do, and they're saying we're not doing that, this is how we're going to do it, we're going to cut some corners, and you're wondering why. It's because there is a disconnect with the values of the employer organization and your organization, because you just jumped and took this project, not realizing that over the course of the project you're going to have a relationship with this organization. And as you know, a lot of these projects are, let's say, 2 years minimum, 18 months, 5 years, 10 years, right? If it's a regeneration project, you may be on that project for 10 years, 5 years, right? So you want to ensure that there is some alignment between where you are going and the projects that you're taking on, and also the project, the employer organization, that there is some alignment between, you know, the values are shared and that this employer organization is an organization that you want to work with. So you're going to have to be strategic instead of being opportunistic. Like, the opportunity has arrived, I'm just going to grab it and go. That only works at a certain level. When you're a baby construction company, I would say, yeah, that to be honest, you will have those instances because you're trying to grow, you're trying to be aggressive. But once you reach a certain stage in the game, you need to start shifting from take it, anything that comes, take it mindset. You need to start shifting from that to be more strategic. The next thing I would say that you need to change in your approach is, you know, adding a little finesse. And what do I mean by that? I mean being a little bit more forward thinking. Looking at the quality of the projects that you take on instead of the quantity of the projects that you take on. So you may have instances where you can get, let's say, 4 projects at 250,000 pounds, right? Or 250K. But there may be a project that you can get for 2 million. And that may be a better project for you. Or it may be that there's a project out there that's 5 million. And there's a project out there that's 1 million. And you want to get the 5 million pound project, but it's not a good fit for you. You need to understand that it's not about the price tag. Okay? And don't get me wrong, I understand the turnover, the profit margins, all that stuff needs to be taken into consideration. You are running a business after all. But another thing about having finesse is also understanding opportunity costs. And when you entangle yourself with projects or employee organizations that are not a good fit for you, you pay a cost because you have engaged your labor force, your plant, your material, your money to run this project that's not right for you, when you could have gone after another 1 or 2 or 3 other projects that would have been a better fit for you. So let's say you get on a project, the project is £1 million, £5 million. You're having headaches on this project. You have used all your resources to deliver this project. Let's say you are 6 months into the project and already you're having issues, right? And we know in the industry this is not unheard of. You're 6 months into the project and you're already having issues. And then 6 months into the project, you realize, oh my goodness, a tender is coming out for project B. Project B, let's say it's the same 2-3 million. Whatever the value is of project A is the value of project B. But project B is something that you could do in your sleep, right? But you've already engaged all your resources, labor, plant, machinery, your money, everything in project A. And so you're not able to bid for project B, which you know probably made more money had a better time. Probably get more profit margins, a lot better environment for your workforce. So you will miss that opportunity. That's an opportunity cost, because here you are on project A and you just don't have the resources to spread to project B, because in addition to project A, you may have 5 other projects that you're delivering. So you have to have this finesse of thinking beyond what's happening right now, assessing the environment, understanding what you are using to track your progress, your development, and just really having a broader look at your organization and how it does business and why it does business, and really just pulling it back to that point, because you will end up with a lot of projects that will be a headache for you because you refuse to think more in depth, to be more reflective about the type of projects that you take on when you take them on. The cost, not just in terms of time and money, but those intangible things that, like the pain gain, as we say in construction, those intangible things that you need to consider as well. So I would say those are the 2 main things that you need to take a different approach, is being strategic, not just about the opportunities, but being strategic about how you select your projects, as well as having some finesse over, the quality of the projects. So how you select your projects and the quality of your projects that you bring into your portfolio. And these need to align with where your business is going, what your business is doing. So I've seen instances where this company, let's say company X, and they do fit out, for example, but they're bidding for MEP work because they believe they can subcontract the MEP work. And then let's say they win this MEP work, they subcontract it, they have very little capabilities to ensure that the quality is good, quality control, compliance with regulations, because they have no clue about MEP work. So just know, and I know sometimes people think, companies think, oh, if they don't get it, it's like they miss out. You don't miss out on anything. You don't. There is enough going around, and there will always be enough construction work going around, that there will be a place for you on every project. If you're good, you're good. People will want you. They will hunt you down to come and work on their project. Okay? So get that scarcity mindset out. Okay, so why should you do contract strategy alignment? This is the question people ask me, jump in the DMs often and say, why? One, you get higher profit margins, because when you choose projects that align with your strengths and your strategic goals, you can work more effectively and profitably. You already have the labor force, or access to that labor force with that expertise. You've worked with them multiple times. You know who they are. They know who you are. You can ensure good quality of work because that's what you do. And therefore you can charge more. Come on, we all know companies out here that charge more than the rest because they've developed this deep expertise and they are known to deliver and have good quality. And so they can charge more. So you get higher profit margins. You get sustainable growth. Oh, Patricia, really? If I'm not getting every single contract out there, I will still grow? Yes. Right? Because it fosters long-term relationships. When you have a strategy like this, you get repeat business. You have good quality control. The people who work with you in terms of your labor force, your consultants, your contractors, they buy into what you're selling, because if they see that, oh, we only do these type of projects, this is the type of projects we do, they buy into it. This is who we are. We work on these type of projects. Everybody is looking for a company where the values, the goals are shared throughout the labor force, not just at HQ, because we've all worked with companies where at HQ they're saying one thing and on the ground the people is totally different. It's not cascading down, so you will get sustainable growth because you'll build those relationships. You will attract people who want to work with you because of your reputation. Your reputation will precede you, right? And you will be laying the foundation for sustainable growth, because you will become that go-to person in the industry, the person who, they only take on, let's say, 10 projects a year. 10 projects a year? Yeah, so if you want them to work on your project, you're going to have to be one of those 10. And to be one of those 10, they're very selective. That's what you want, right? And we all know a company like that. Another payoff that you're going to get is adaptability to change. So as the industry is shifting, a company that is more strategic in its approach is better able to position itself to adapt and thrive, because you are playing the game the way you want to play the game. That's your strategy, and you're watching the game, you're mapping out, you're drawing up your moves like a coach, right? You're watching the landscape and you're making tweaks and you're course correcting as you go along. That's what happens when you have a strategy, because you have a benchmark, a starting point from which you're using every single day. So you can adjust. You know what you need to fix. You have no strategy, you have nothing. You just come and take it. Whatever wind blows, you go. Right? Set your sail. Your strategy sets your sail. So you will adapt as the market changes, because your ears are up, right? You have no blinders on. You're not being pushed about. You're charting your course. So I would say, first, you need to think long term, right? Align your contracts to your business long-term vision and capabilities. So think long-term. Where do I see my business in 5-10 years? Okay? 3, 5, 10 years. Evaluate every opportunity, right? Assess how each potential project fits within your strategic framework. And I say just have a checklist of 10 things that you say, these 10 things, 8 out of them must be a yes before we go after that project. And I would say embrace change. Be open to new methods and ideas that can position your company ahead, that can push you ahead. But this only happens if you do everything that I've discussed. This only happens because if you don't have that strategy, like I said, any wind blows, you go there. And that's why you see companies, they fold. They're doing 1 million and one things that they were never incorporated to do, and they're just getting hits all over. And then eventually you hear company so and so is going under. Why? They have like 10 contracts that are doing poorly, and that's the end of that. And when you check out these 10 contracts, there are 10 different contracts doing 10 different things. They're doing fit out, MEP, groundworks, you name it, they're doing it. Those days are quickly coming to an end. Okay, the all-rounder quickly coming to an end, right? So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, having this discussion. Hey, let me know what you think. Any questions, anything wasn't clear, let me know. I would love to do another video, or hey, we may catch up, one-to-one and have this discussion, because I'm sure you have a different view, and that is okay too. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next one. Bye.